always let your guides pick the cards. Okay, this is the Empress card.
And then after the reading, Ronnie told me.
And then, of course, when he threw down the Empress card, that was...
Immediately you went to Tamara.
Yeah, I became emotional.
Yeah.
I felt like that was her saying, "Hi, Ronnie."
What happens after we die? Do we still exist? And if we do, where do we go and why? For as long as human beings have walked the earth, these questions have haunted and fascinated us. They sit at the heart of every culture, at the foundation of every spiritual tradition. But what if some people could see beyond death? What if they could communicate with souls who have left this world and cross into the next? Christopher LaPrath is a uniquely gifted psychic medium. Using his psychic abilities in coordination with tarot cards, Chris can relay messages from spirit guides, departed loved ones, and other non-physical entities. In each episode of this series, I'll introduce Chris to a guest whose life has been deeply shaped by the loss of someone they love. During the conversation, Chris will attempt to contact that departed soul and any other non-physical beings who wish to come through. Death may be life's greatest mystery, but sometimes it answers back. This is part 2 of our conversation with Ronnie Pontiac.
Doesn't mean I didn't try. I just
In part 1, Ronnie shared about his difficult childhood, his troubled youth, and the love that transformed his life. He also shared how after more than 4 decades together with Tamara, he suddenly lost her. In this half, psychic medium Christopher LaPrath joins Ronnie and me. Christopher knows nothing of Ronnie's story. So, Ronnie, welcome back. Here we are a week later.
Oh, thank you.
And now we've been joined by Christopher LaPrath. Thank you for joining us, Christopher.
Thanks.
So I've been chatting with Ronnie. He has a remarkable life, and we thought we'd see what you have to say about what you find. Have you met Ronnie before?
Never.
Yeah.
No.
All right. So do your thing, Chris.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll do my thing.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of an unusual approach because I always ask your guides or your angels, your people that have been with you, beings that have been with you, as to what's really your best and highest now, okay? But your guides do, and they don't always identify themselves, by name. Sometimes they do, but it just is going to depend on what you need right now, okay? And when we come across something that is like, this isn't really serving me anymore. I kind of think of myself sometimes as a moving company to go, do you still want that couch?
Yeah.
Even though it's 50 years old. And if you just say, yeah, get rid of it, I help you move it.
That's great.
So you have more room for a new couch,
Yes.
right? Or something new that's coming into your life. And I always let your guides pick the cards. You'll see when I shuffle through, they just kind of fall out, right?
Yeah.
But I always ask,
That was quick.
I always ask for your best and highest.
At this point, the first card falls out of Chris's tarot deck.
Okay, this is the Empress card. So you could say Empress is Empress, or you can say impress, right? That you're really here to impress a higher consciousness.
To help expand
the
consciousness in this
consciousness
world.
of the planet. Like, that's why you came here. And it's absolutely stepping into it. And so you're going to be stepping into it more. this is what's really important for you. And it's actually like it's been in your family line. Mm-hmm. You've got some very gifted people that have come before you. This is ancestry through his mother's side.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who this mother was, but wow. Right?
What's the other meaning of Empress card?
Well, there's several meanings.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so but for Ronnie, this is divine. This is divinity. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's the Divine Mother.
There's a female aspect to this.
No, this is femininity. This is like the apex of femininity. It's like gracing you. It's like absolutely just pouring love and grace on you. And you feel this, like you feel it. It's not your imagination. Like, talk to her.
I do.
Yeah, it's absolutely talking to her. Mm-hmm. And you are not losing your mind if you hear something back.
Yes, yeah.
Tell me about that. What is that with you?
Well, first, my mother was somebody who was highly psychic, but she had a horrendous life. She was a Holocaust survivor who'd been trafficked by the Nazis and by the Russians. So she was damaged. So I had to learn to be extremely sensitive to where she was at, even before she walked into a room. And then there's also somebody else who I spent my life with who passed, who, an amazing woman, just the love of my life, and an incredible person. And she was like, she awoke all this in me. And she was a living representation, I guess you could say, of that high feminine energy, and of love and creativity and love of nature and everything. I mean, when you pulled the Empress card, I just thought...
Me too, because that's what I saw when you pulled the Empress card, and everything you said about Ronnie being this person who brings consciousness to a higher level in the world 100% makes sense to me, knowing you to the extent that I do. But when he flipped that card, it was this other person whose name is Tamara, I'm just going to say, whose name was Tamara, was like, oh, that she just flipped that card.
Her hair color.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everything about it.
Is that what you thought too, though? With the second that card
I
came?
actually got tears in my eyes for you.
Yeah. I've got tears in my eyes.
Yeah.
And you have the ability to understand this life of 60, 70, 80 years is not all there is. You're going to be together again in the other side, but also in other lifetimes, because you've been together for centuries, for millennia.
Now, you're saying that based on just an instinct that you're feeling, or what?
Well, the Empress is timeless. So there's a timelessness about it. She's able to open up more doors for you from the other side to show you chambers. I don't know why she's using the word chambers. But even now, today, like with the pyramids, they're still finding new chambers, new passageways. That there's these new passageways opening up for you where the whole thing is you being of service to mankind. This is why you came here. This is what she helped you do. She's continuing to help you do it. Like she did it. She walked the talk, right?
Yes.
It's interesting that this card that Chris flips over is, well, first of all, like I said,
Tamara picked it. She was like, "Yeah, I'm the Empress." Like, hello.
Well, that's what the second you turned it, I was like, "Oh, the Empress is here. Tamara is here." But then not only is it announcing her own presence, but it's also announcing the kind of role she's playing with you in this life and moving forward in this life, which is helping you to spread light in the world. So it kind of has the double meaning, but it's kind of two meanings that are so appropriate to you and your relationship with Tamara.
Yes, absolutely.
First thing I hear her say is, "Stop questioning my taste." Like, stop questioning my taste in you. Like, Empresses don't marry paupers. They don't get involved with paupers. And so this is you acknowledging your, like, dude, you got some juju. Use it. She didn't choose small. She didn't choose less than.
How does that strike you in terms of Tamara's voice?
Yeah, absolutely. I always kind of felt unworthy, and I still wrestle with it. And so I have regrets and doubts, and why me? Why was it?
Right.
Did I really perform at the level that you had hoped for? And
right.
And can I do what you expect me to do? And
so that would.
So you were right on it. And she would be, and that's absolutely, don't question my taste. It's very Tamara.
Was that a refrain in your relationship?
Oh yeah, about all sorts of things.
Yeah.
She was very, she defined our lives, our decor, our food, and she did not have patience for any interference.
Right.
Yeah.
But there was an element of her also saying, why do you think I picked you? Because you are worthy of my great taste, right?
Yeah.
You have that too. You are that too.
Yeah. I stepped back to have her back. And so I feel that's why I'm left here, because I don't want to be. I want to be where she is.
Right.
So, but I feel that I'm here now so that I can do what I have to do instead of just having her back.
I think that's so true.
So would it be possible for you to release and clear, destroy and uncreate the either or?
Yes, I would love that.
Either you're here or you're there.
Mm-hmm.
Either you're there or you're here.
Yeah.
There's no such thing.
Mm-hmm.
You're saying he's both places.
You're both places. We're all both. We're
exactly.
all.
Right.
We're all both places. We're all, and it's not just two places. This is interdimensional.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's doing like the Spock thing. Remember, Ronnie. Like, remember. This session is about, after the session, you remembering. I always tell people I work with, this is the first day of the domino going,
right.
Like where you're getting ahas and ahas and ahas.
Mm-hmm. Like I would mention that I often get the message from her, live up to what you know.
Mm-hmm.
And what I know is that she's still with me,
mm-hmm.
that I'm still with her.
Mm-hmm.
But then I do fall back into the pain of her physical absence.
Which is natural. I mean, come on. Yeah,
of course, especially someone like that.
Yeah.
She was just such a light in my life.
Yeah.
And so,
And when Christopher says, do you release and whatever his thing is, that's him saying, can I take the couch out?
Please.
Yeah. This is energetically
do.
like moving that out of your field.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just want to interrupt the podcast for a second.
After the recording, after Chris had left, Ronnie told me something that I think is worth mentioning here.
You told me that the sofa thing is relevant to Tamara.
Yeah, it took me off guard, actually, because we had an old sofa in our living room, and Tamara became ill for 5 days. She declined at the house before she went to the hospital, and on the 5th day, I found her unresponsive on this old sofa. And so when she was supposed to be coming home, I immediately got that sofa out of the house and brought a new one there that I thought she would love, which unfortunately she never saw. So when he immediately brought up moving out old sofas and kept talking about it, that certainly struck me. And then, of course, when he threw down the Empress card, that was...
Immediately you went to Tamara.
Yeah, I became emotional.
Yeah.
I felt like that was her saying, hi, Ronnie.
Okay, now back to the episode.
When you're missing her,
Mm-hmm.
that's when she's near. And so people go into the grief.
At the moment when they're actually, the loved one is most present.
Present with them. Then they move out of presence of communicating with that person. So when you're feeling that she's not there in the physical, go, she's close.
I have been feeling that, Christopher, and I feel that because every time I feel her love like flow over me, I cry, and I feel her stop crying when I'm loving you.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
But you're emotional. I mean, we are here to experience the full range of humanity, and emotions are a big part of it. And you're there's something with poppies. What's the deal with poppies? Why is she talking about poppies?
I would always go and take off of a hillside on Laurel Canyon golden poppies and then plant them in her garden. So our garden was always filled with poppies, and it was around this time of year when I would go get them.
You go now.
I will.
We got to stop the show. He's got to go get poppies, okay?
I will.
Yeah, she's talking about the poppies.
I think it's just incredible how Tamra is so present. Like, boom, that card fell out so quickly. She's so clear and she's so on it right now.
Yeah.
At this point, Chris shuffles and the confusion card falls out.
So, have you ever played Monopoly?
Yeah.
Or any game? Or you've entered any contest?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Do people enter that or start a game with going, well, I'll play, but I'm going to lose?
That's really funny, Christopher, because she would beat me at everything, and I kind of enjoyed it. Like, I didn't do it deliberately, but I just loved seeing her skill and her power, and yeah, so.
So, do you now, throughout all time and eternity and all dimensions, release and clear the fear of loss?
Yes.
Okay? Because she's talking that don't you dare question my taste. Don't you dare question that I'm gone. Man, she's a bit of a force to reckon with, right? I love her. Like, she's amazing.
Yeah.
But because you're so sensitive, which is one of the reasons she chose you, or you chose her, if you get a feeling or like confusion, frustration, anger, whatever emotion it is, you're picking up what other people are leaving, or like when you walk through an energetic field, you're very sensitive. Okay? So do you release, clear, destroy, and uncreate, thinking that there's something wrong with you, when actually you're going, wait a minute, where is this coming from?
Does that resonate for you?
Extremely, yeah.
How
Yeah.
so? Tell me.
Well, as I said earlier, I had to learn to be sensitive to my mother's
Right.
state of mind. And so I have a sensitivity to other people's state of mind, especially if they're thinking about me and they're hostile. So I'm very sensitive to criticism. I can feel it or dream about it. And then I often own it. I think that, well, this is a legitimate criticism. And I have to work through laboriously that this isn't even mine. So this really lands
It
home.
has nothing to do with you.
So this is why I asked you earlier about releasing, clearing the fear of loss. That kind of stuff would be really good to lose.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would love to lose that.
Right. And that it isn't you.
So you think there's a part of Ronnie that's like afraid to let go of that sort of ability and that tendency?
So it's not wrong or bad, right? It's how you learn to survive,
Yeah.
right? So
Exactly.
how many clothes do you have left from when you were in 4th grade?
Right, exactly.
And then how often do you wear them?
Right.
You just don't need it anymore.
You don't need it
Yeah.
anymore.
It helped you survive. But it would be scary to let go of it because it helped you survive.
Yeah.
It was wired in at infancy.
Yeah.
So those very early
Yeah.
programs are hard to
let
get
go,
at.
yeah.
But I want to get rid of this. And she worked with me to try to.
Tamra
Well,
did.
that's what
Yeah.
this session is all about.
Yeah.
Okay? This is what she's putting on the plate. And so when I ask you, do you release and clear, destroy, and uncreate all of those projections that were ever put upon you throughout all time, space, dimensions, history? Do you release, clear, destroy, and uncreate that, and even return them to sender, knowing that they're no part of you?
Yes.
I love how Ronnie so affirmatively is
Yeah.
able to make
You get
those
it.
steps. Yeah.
Because this is the confusion card.
Yeah.
And once you identify it, boom,
Yeah.
leave now, never return.
Yeah.
Chris shuffles and the negativity card falls out.
And then do you release and clear, destroy, and uncreate the need to make it right for everybody?
That's another one, yeah.
I'm exhausted. That was a big one.
Wait, so this card is
Negativity.
Negativity, okay.
Yeah.
And so you asked Ronnie if he would release the need to make it right for everyone, and that you resonate with that as well.
I used to drive her crazy.
Tamara's
yeah,
crazy.
I felt like anyone who crossed my path who was in need, I had to somehow find a way to help. And she would always tell me, there's so many situations where you shouldn't be helping, and you have to learn to recognize what's yours and what isn't.
Yeah, this is all from her. This session is all from her.
Tamara's telling
Yes.
you, sort
Yes.
of reminding Ronnie, because it seems these are not new messages from Tamara. These are the consistent messages she's giving you, but she's sort of saying, I'm still around. You need to let go of these things, continue to let go of them, really let go of them, because now you're center stage. You can't sort of hide behind her. You know, it's time for you to step up, which it sounds like, I mean, it sounds like you maybe had this idea already, but it sounds like a little bit, in a way, the reason she decided to leave is because it needed to be your time. You have come to that sort of understanding.
Absolutely. Yeah. I have skills that they're different from hers.
Right.
So.
Yeah. This is you stepping up. So 30 years ago, I did a seminar with my niece. So we were doing dyads where the group broke up into working with another person. So I worked with her because she's my niece. And I can't remember what we were working on, but I raised my hand and the facilitators come over and they go, how can we help you? And I go, well, Sarah's not getting it. You know, I need help helping her get it. Why do you want her to get it? I went, well, I just want her to be happy. What if she doesn't want to be happy? And I went, ding, ding, ding. There are, The Celestine Prophecy is a great book. I don't know if you've read it. The control dramas. Okay, control dramas. The worst one is poor me. Can you help me? But what they're wanting is the energy. They're wanting to drain energy. So my dad was an intimidator. So there's intimidator, interrogator. So an intimidator is the one that screams and yells. Okay. The interrogator is, how come you're sitting like that? Where did you come from? How come you were out so late? Who were you with? What did you have for dinner? Interrogation. That's another way of sucking people's energy. These are vampire tactics, energetic vampire tactics. Then there's the aloof, literally looking down the nose, but that's a control drama, right? And then the worst one, like I said, is poor me.
So you're saying people who, there are many people in the world who gather energy by creating this poor me drama around themselves, and people like Ronnie who are so sensitive can get caught up in that and start giving away their energy, and to not to help. It won't help Ronnie at all, and it won't even help the other person because it'll just perpetuate this pattern.
That's their feeding pattern, their energetic feeding pattern. And you ain't got no time for that no more. No more. This is that negativity card. And so then all cycles in this lifetime and in all previous lifetimes, do you now release, completely destroy all patterns and cycles of blame, shame, and guilt?
Wow. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so what's that about, blame, shame, and guilt?
Grow up the only child of Holocaust survivors. And get a graduate course in those. These are people who were entirely broken as children by experiencing the most unfathomable cruelty in history. And so nothing can ever be enough or good or simply happy. Everything is a danger. Everything is a disappointment.
Right.
So it was a constant theme.
Yeah.
And I of course absorbed it.
So your parents, because of the horror they went through, lived in a state of, they were indoctrinated as little kids by this horror of the world is a cruel place, people are savage. I mean, that's obviously what they saw, what they learned, and then that gets thrown on you. So that's the blame and the shame, and what was the other word?
Guilt.
And guilt, and guilt doesn't, I'm not sure if I can connect guilt.
Well, because if you, for instance, my father would see me, like when I was 14, swimming with my girlfriend in the pool. At the age when he was
Yeah.
He was a slave laborer.
Yeah.
So even though he wanted me to be happy on some level, he couldn't help feeling.
Yeah, who do you think you are? You know, there are people. When I was your age, I was working in a factory in order to stay alive. I had tricked people to keeping me alive by working as a slave laborer.
Exactly.
And you're swimming in a pool with your girlfriend?
Giggling with a girl,
And the guilt that you take on at that point. Wow.
Yeah.
And so Tomer's here saying, enough of that.
Right.
Yeah.
So then one of my clients is a neuroscientist.
Mm-hmm.
So he shared this with me. One of his research graduate study was he had a mama rat who had a whole bunch of babies.
Mm-hmm.
So they took a third of the babies into another building, like across the campus. Then they took another third of the babies into the other room. And then they left the other babies there with her, and then they broke her leg.
Mm.
And of course it caused a lot of trauma.
Mm-hmm.
And then they let the leg completely repair.
Mm-hmm.
She was fine.
Mm-hmm.
And then they brought all the babies from in the building and then across the campus back. And when they would pick up a baby and they would strike the front left leg of any baby, they would scream and cry. They would scream in pain.
Even the ones that were so far away had no physical exposure.
No idea that the leg had been broken.
It was just the mother's vibration of fear had sort of passed to all the children because the ancestral line is so strong.
Yeah, there's an energetic tie.
That's amazing.
So this is where anywhere where any of that trauma, drama, ghastly, horrific happened to your parents, are you willing now to release, clear, destroy, and uncreate all of that horror now?
Yes.
Okay.
When he sighs, it typically means it's like something.
It's moving energy. It's moving energy.
All right, so we have to hear what the card is. It's
Feeler.
Feeler, okay. Feeler is just someone who's sensitive and can pick up what's going on.
She's talking about she's with children. Tamara is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is going to be a little far-fetched, but this is what she's talking about.
Okay.
It's like what she's sharing. When children come home from school, you don't grab their homework and do their homework for them. Mm-hmm. She's telling me these stories to help me help you understand about fixing or helping everyone. If you did your children's homework,
they won't learn.
They won't learn. Okay?
So this is sort of picking up on the same theme, which is if you go and save everybody, then that person doesn't have a chance to grow and to learn the lessons that they need to move forward.
Right.
Well, also she mentored people.
Oh.
And so after she passed, I tried to step in to do as best I could to help them. In some cases, that's been beautiful. In other cases, it's been a mistake. And so, but it's been something that's been a dominant theme for me since she left.
Which is what exactly now? Helping
to stand
these people?
where she stood, to these. She would rescue traumatized, mostly women who were artists or filmmakers or musicians, and then she would give them opportunities and give them confidence.
Right.
And then, of course, they were traumatized when suddenly this person was gone.
Right.
So I tried to reassure them and tell them, look, I've lived my life with her. I saw what she did, and so you can now turn to me. And sometimes that has been good, and other times it's obviously been bad. And it's been, I think, too much of a dominant theme. So I would imagine that she's trying to say to me, "You're not me."
Yeah.
Right.
So don't.
Yeah. No. But it's because it's pulling you out of your gifts.
Yes.
You're a fantastic trapeze artist, but a horrible lion tamer.
Right.
This is you getting back into your gifts.
Yeah.
And she's making the point, I know this is a little esoteric, it's kind of a little bit of out there, but in past lives, you've had a lot of children together in different lifetimes. So a lot of these people that exist today are literally your children, grandchildren, great grandchildren.
Oh, literally from past lives who have now
here now,
hereditary here.
Here now, and you don't got to fix them. Let these children, these great grandchildren of yours, do their own homework. You know, so one of your fortes is directed energy, like give this person what they need. You can actually think it, and the energy will go there. Give them what they need, but without draining you.
That's very interesting, because Tamara had the ability to, first she could sense when somebody was in a dark moment, and so you might not hear from her for a year, but then you went through something terrible, and then there she would be in your direct messages saying, hey, how are you doing? And then her interactions were short and funny usually, and she would lift you, give you a perception that you have value and you can go on and use your skill, and then she's gone.
She moved on.
For me, it's entangling, and I'm talking for 2 hours, and it's like it doesn't have any of the light touch.
No. So Tamara Simmer had this sense to know when to enter a person's life, sort of get in there, offer them a little bit of light, but to not get entangled with the person.
So you think about the holy men of India, Tibet, Bhutan that sit in the cave. Well, why? What are they doing sitting in a cave? They're actually affecting the world on an energetic level way more than if they were the Pope.
Right.
Consciously, dude, that's your gift. If you just recalling all those centuries you sat in that cave, that's your forte.
I understand.
Did you see that shift?
Yeah, it wasn't even a shift. It was like a remembering.
Yes.
Yeah.
He went,
oh yeah, that's what I do.
That's I'm somebody that like if I could, I would be living in a cave and meditating. Like I do like even the way I live in a sense is like that. I'm a bit of a hermit. Yeah. And so people come to me.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be a little bit more outgoing, but that's a very comfortable space for me.
And I'm not asking you to, go on Zillow and start looking at cave property in Tibet. I'm not doing that. But any wrongness, because you can accomplish a lot more in your meditations or in being alone by just sending the energy.
Yeah. I actually live on a hill, and the place is very private and surrounded by plants, and so it's a perfect place for that.
Was there a moment, though, in there, because what I thought I saw was like just this moment of thinking of, it was more remembering, like, oh yeah, that's what I do. I can create this energy. I can share this energy. Or maybe it was a sense of relief, like I don't have to fix everyone's life physically.
Yeah.
I can just be Ronnie. I can just be and expand my energy and let that do the work.
Well, I've been since she passed, I've felt driven to do something, to live up to her example, but at the same time, it made me think of all these books and the Tamara and I used to, like Ramana Maharshi and other of these masters that were living in these isolated places and developed these high levels of consciousness, and we both had a very romantic kind of a view of it and a draw toward it.
Yeah.
And we kind of lived that way, especially after COVID happened. It allowed us to just, the two of us, just to live together in this kind of bond of it was enough, just the two of us.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think maybe there's also what we were picking up on is like a sense of relief. Like that was like, I don't have to go out and do all these things because Tamara's gone. I don't have to fill this void. I don't have to do all this work. I can just do it my way, which is really just kind of quietly.
Yeah.
And Tamara was an example of that as well.
That's absolutely right. Yeah, she lived that way.
Yeah.
And I have this driven kind of quality that she was always trying to teach me not to do.
Right.
And she was grounded and always followed her own muse.
Right.
Whereas I'm someone who feels like I need to get out there, I have to reach people.
Like a
How come it's not
doership
working?
thing, yeah.
And
Do you have any questions?
At this point, Chris starts to wind up the session by shuffling the deck, and 2 final cards fall out.
You've got growth.
Uh-huh.
Oh, and SUCCESS. That's the way you spell success.
The success card and growth.
The success card and the growth card.
And this is sort of the final message.
This is like,
sort of like,
this is, you are a success. You are successful in who you are. This is Tamara's message to you. Don't you question my taste. You stop it. Stop it.
she used to say stop it to me like that all the time.
I know. She's saying it to you now.
she's saying, don't you question my taste is really, I'm telling you the truth about who
Yeah.
you are right
Yeah,
now,
right-
and
right now.
don't you question that.
Yeah.
And what she's saying is, this is you, success, growth. This is your life without me in the physical, moving forward.
Even so.
Yeah, I mean, you almost don't have to interpret those. Those are just.
I understand.
Yeah. Okay. This has been incredible. This has just been fantastic. But before we wrap up, the thing about Ronnie and Tamara's story is it's an incredible love story.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the most beautiful, amazing love story. And we've had a lot of Tamara giving Ronnie suggestions on how he can now go. And there's been a lot of love behind that.
Mm-hmm.
But just for a moment, I just want to see if you can ask Tamara to plug into just her love for Ronnie and see what that elicits.
It's eternal, and it always will be eternal. Again, this is timeless. It's not, there's no time.
It never began, it will never end.
Yeah.
And it hasn't ended in the past 8 months.
No, it's just like her going ahead on a school bus trip. I don't know what that means.
She just got there before him,
I'll
wait for you, and you'll be here in a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she's talking about this like bus trip. So she's like taking a bus trip ahead of you, or this trip ahead of you. But there's no space, or there's no distance.
There's no separation.
There's no separation. I don't get that at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think from Tamara's point of view, from the way I understand things work, for her it's like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For us on the planet Earth, it seems like decades,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But for her, it's like, I just jumped on a bus. Just,
Yeah.
you're going to catch in the next one.
Yeah, it's no big deal.
Yeah.
And she knows you know that.
Yeah.
You do more doing nothing
Mm-hmm.
than people in their whole lifetimes do by doing. Does that make sense?
It does, yeah.
Yeah. That's why she chose you, and I have really good taste.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she's saying that. I'm not saying that.
No, we got it.
No, she
Yeah,
did.
got that.
She did. I'll tell you a dream that I had the night before yesterday.
Perfect.
I love swimming. Swimming is how I regenerate. So I was dreaming that I was in the pool, and I was just enjoying the sun and the water. And then all of a sudden, it got shadowy. And I tend to swim without clothes. And so I thought, oh, it's getting cold, I should get out. But I glimpsed someone from the corner of my eye. And as I turned and looked, I saw Tamara walking up the driveway, and the sun came back. And she looked amazing. She was like glowing. Her hair was like this golden curve. And as she walked toward me, I just felt this overwhelming joy. And I woke up and I felt this bliss. And I lingered on the image. I fell back asleep and the dream resumed. And she got into the water and took off her clothes. I was on my back floating, and she got on top of me on her back like I was a pool raft. and her hair, I used to love it when she put her hair in my face. And so she flipped her hair into my face, and she was just lying. We were both perfectly still. And I could feel the sun through her body, and I could smell the sweet wheat scent of her hair. And we just sat motionless in this sparkling water like that. And it was so beautiful. So that reflects so many elements of what you said, in my opinion.
Tell me some of the elements.
Not doing anything, I can do more. That she's never been gone.
Mm-hmm.
That we're together, and that there's no time there. There's no place there.
And the not doing any, I mean, you just said floating on a raft in the pool. Like, what more relaxing not doing could there be? Yeah.
That wasn't a dream.
Yeah, that was a visitation, right?
Yeah, I know.
You moved a lot of stuff today. That just a lot of old couches.
Yeah, thank you, Christopher.
And I just want to end by reiterating, she jumped on the bus to go ahead of you, not just because, this bus and it was easy, but because there's a reason that you need to be here doing just everything that we talked about. And so this is your time. Yeah. And she's right there with you, pushing her hair in your face and floating around in the pool. But this is your time, Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for being here. This has been just incredible in so many ways.
It was beautiful, Christopher. Thank you. I really deeply appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'm glad you got to meet Tamara, too.
Yeah. She's awesome.
Yeah.
She's really awesome.
Oh, you can't put your arms around a memory. You can't put your arms around a memory. You can't put your arms around a memory. Don't try. No. Don't try.
If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe to Realization Lab on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts.
With